Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Well, we know a lot of people have lost a lot of faith in this place. They felt good about being an American and, you know, everything about American. And we used to always hear this thing called pride all the time. I don't even hear that anymore. I don't. I don't even hear them boasting. Oh, remember, we're number one. We're number one. I don't hear none of that stuff anymore. It's almost like people are so focused on their lives just falling apart and not being the same to the point where all the things I would have heard in the past about this place, I don't hear anymore. Thank you, Eagle Talons, for the 4-month membership. I deeply appreciate it. You can tell things have dramatically changed and it's going to get worse. Donald Trump, anybody sitting around waiting for Donald Trump to make things better, Donald Trump can't even make things better for himself. How is he going to do that for a whole nation? This man can't make nothing about your life better. Not a thing, you know. And I noticed he did a little flip-flop, just slightly off the topic. He did a little flip-flop on the Epstein files. Now he's talking about, "Oh, yeah, go ahead and release it." He got some kind of bag of tricks up his sleeves. You don't whine about it being a hoax and all that for all this time. Now all of a sudden you're okay with it. I'm not buying it. So anyway, y'all, we're going to listen to this video and you're going to see people, some of them that are struggling here in America and they just don't know how they're going to make it. The same salary and we know salaries have not gone up like they should. And whenever you have inflation, you should have an increase in salary. But that does not happen in this place. And this is why they got a long history of having all kinds of financial crashes and recessions, depressions. It's because they don't allow you to have salaries to keep up with the cost of living. If they did that, you could avoid a lot of this. But these folks have never been good with money. What do you expect? You know, they had a string of failed societies over there in Europe. You think they're going to come here to America and succeed? They're not. And there are economists saying there have been a recession going on in several states across this country have been in a recession and they just won't say it. You know how these people are. They don't take accountability for nothing. So you're not going to get them to say there's a recession. Donald Trump is not going to say it. He don't want to be accountable for a recession happening on his watch, but I think virtually everybody knows something ain't right. And you can feel that there is a recession going on. You can feel it. They don't have to physically tell you for you to know better. And you see all these high prices around you. Who are they really fooling? But see, this is what happens when you got people running things that don't believe in accountability. They believe in it for others, but not for themselves. So that's the end result. So let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. Shalom to everybody in the chat. Shalom to you. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. Thank you.
Today, we're asking a question a lot of people are whispering, and many are outright saying, Is America losing her pride? Is the country losing its sense of direction? And why do so many people feel worried about the future? There's a shift happening in this country that's deeper than politics, deeper than the economy, and deeper than the headlines.
The collapse of America. And who would have thunk it? The black folks was right. Racism caused the collapse of America. Somebody said years ago, and I found the quote and I lost it. So you know who said it, put it in the comment section. America would rather for, a lot of white Americans would rather for America to burn to the ground than to part with their racism, than to let black people have a seat at the table, to let marginalized communities be equal with them. They have to have something or someone to punch down on. And they will choose racism every time. They will watch it burn. And we're seeing in real time our neighbors do nothing. Nobody fights for America but black Americans. Yet they always emphasize the black part of black Americans. But it's funny because we're the only, we see it in real time. You can no longer deny it. The only people who fight for America, other than soldiers and veterans, are black Americans. You can no longer deny it because we fight for what's ours. We say we built this country and we're acting like it. We're not gonna let somebody just come into our house and destroy it. And we literally say, let's see what y'all got. Tag, you're it. Silence, parades. Even the people in Portland got hard. They in the streets. They if they just mocking ICE, but at least they're doing something, which is more than a lot of other people in America who claim to love America, who are so upset about Juneteenth because why America's just being so divided right now. Trump has spent the SNAP money if you don't know what's going on. He is liquidating. What you think Elon was doing? What do you think Elon was doing with Doge? He was ciphering all the money. Like, are you okay? Next year will be the 250th anniversary of America, the birth of this nation. And guess what empires, the greatest of them all, guess which year they fall around?
It's something millions of Americans are feeling in their homes, on their jobs, and in their daily lives. Let's talk about it. The national mood has changed. Across the US, there's a heaviness in the air, a sense that life is getting harder, the future feels uncertain, and people don't know who to trust anymore. Surveys show record levels of stress, burnout, fear, and financial pressure.
I'm in the city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We've been to a lot of big cities here in America, and I want to point out something that we're seeing everywhere we go, and it's actually very, very sad. Big cities in America are literally going away. They're falling apart. I'm standing on one street corner right here, and as you can see, the buildings are boarded up. Do you follow me around here? Nobody's in that building. Once was a Burger King right there. It's gone. That whole street is empty. No one is living here. No one is working here. There's hardly anybody on the street except for homeless people. I've seen a lot of homeless families too with little tiny children walking around here. It's actually heartbreaking to see what is happening in America as big cities, they're literally just falling apart, disappearing, and the people that are overtaking them are the homeless people. It's frightening, and this is what is going on in America. I honestly can say I don't remember America always being like this. Even a few years ago, I don't remember things being like this. I know we did have a pandemic that shut a lot of things down, but I am hoping that somehow big cities in America will be able to recover and people will start coming back. Otherwise, these places are going to disappear.
Housing is out of reach. Utilities are rising every season. Medical costs are skyrocketing. Layoffs are hitting industries that were once stable. Even families who are working full time feel like they're slipping backward. People feel like the system is working against them. And when that happens, national pride naturally starts to decline. Because it's hard to feel great about a country when you're struggling to survive in it. Institutions are losing trust. Another major problem. Americans no longer trust the institutions that once held the country together.
So many Americans already believe that we are in a recession. They believe that the recession started a long time ago. They believe that the economy is currently crashing, and they are not listening to what you hear on the news. They are going online and they are sharing personal stories and showing the hardships right now that they are witnessing and what they're going through.
Is it just me, or are we in a global recession? I mean, this is not normal. It is 9:40 in the morning, Thursday, September 18th, and this is how our shop is looking. Now, thank God I have a few inspections to do, so I'm going to stay busy today. I have like 14 government vehicles I have to do. But you can't tell me this isn't a government recession. Like, what the hell is going on here? I mean, as you can see, we're so busy. We have so many cars in here right now. 9:30 in the morning. We should be packed. We should at least have oil changes. We should have something. And before the people start commenting that, well, you know, shop charge too much money. Our shop doesn't. We actually charge a lot less than we should to make good margins and actually make money. So we actually undercharge a whole lot at this shop, and we still don't have business. We are probably the cheapest shop in our area compared to all the other shops. Our labor is only $135. Other shops are like $150, $160, $180. Dealerships are like $200. And we do decent work. We do good work on cars. We never have complaints. We never have people come back. We never have returns. This is how our shop looks. This has got to be the beginning of the middle of a recession, and probably the beginning of a depression. I've been here 6 months. I have not seen it this bad. And it's been like this for the last probably week and a half, 2 weeks. So what's gives? What's going on? Why is nobody coming in? If you guys are doing work on your own vehicles, respect. I respect that. I work on my own vehicle. You save a lot of money that way, but the people who can't afford to work on their own vehicles and have to bring it to a shop, they're not even here. I think we're cooked. Is it just me, or are we in a global recession? I mean,
I don't care what anyone says. We are 1,000,000% in a recession due to the fact that Facebook Marketplace has been popping off lately. Like, people are selling their treasures that they've had in their basement or their garage because they need money.
How's everybody surviving? I get paid bi-weekly, and we are a family of 4. We have 2 kids. How are y'all surviving? Because I'm not. I got paid today, and it's gone. Goes toward the mortgage, cell phone bill, gas and electric, garbage, everything gone. Between insurance, car insurance between my husband and I, everything gone. And then I have to go to the grocery store. This isn't even factoring in groceries for a family of fucking 4. So imagine how it's like every month. It's like, do we go do a big load haul of groceries, or do we pay our mortgage? Like I can't do both. And my husband works 50 hours a week. I work 40 hours a week. We can't do both. So like, how are you doing it? The people that don't have kids are barely surviving. I am not surviving. And I get paid bi-weekly. And people are like, oh, getting paid bi-weekly is so much better because then when you get paid more. No, it doesn't matter, because all my bills get taken out at the same every month. I try to change it to the end of the month. It still doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you have your bills taken out. Your money is gone. There's nothing you can do. You just have to ride on this floating rock and spend, $150 on 4 products at the grocery store. I can't. I literally cannot. I don't know how people do it. And unless you're a rich elite, so I hope everybody on this floating rock screams like I do, and we can all scream together, because I just don't collectively know how I can continue on with a recession. I've lived through one recession. I physically can't do it now. And you can call me dramatic. I don't really give. I'm going to crash out. I cannot survive like this. I can't.
So there's a pretty good financial indicator out there called the used car market. And the used car market is a good financial indicator of how your country is doing, because it means that people have liquid capital. If you have liquid capital, you can buy a used car cash, because most used car sales are going to be cash purchases. So if used cars are selling well, probably doing pretty good. People have liquid capital. They're able to buy whatever they want. They don't feel stressed about the future. They're buying and selling things at leisure. If the used car market is bad, then people do not have liquid capital. They do not feel secure about the future, and they're hoarding whatever liquid capital that they do have. And right now, the used car market is tanked. It's tanked. No one is buying or selling anything, especially the cash purchases. So not a very good indicator for us as a country or our economy. Either people have no money to spend or they are incredibly insecure about their future. And either way is not good. So we're going to see how this plays out in the coming months. But I don't see that trend ending anytime soon.
The government, the media, the justice system, the banks, corporations, schools, healthcare systems. Trust has collapsed across the board. People feel like nobody is telling the truth. Nobody is accountable. Nobody is protecting the average person. And when trust disappears, pride disappears with it. Political division is tearing the country apart. America is more politically divided now than at any point in modern history.
People cannot live like this anymore. I'm 23 years old. I have a decent paying job. I pay all my bills. I have credit card debt like everyone, but yet my account is in the negative. How the hell is my account in the negative? I make a decent living. I pay all my bills on time. I don't get it. You guys, I don't even go out like I used to anymore. If I do, I usually pregame and it's like with something cheap, right? And then I go out and I hang out with my friends and it's most of the time free. Right now, I'm currently extremely sick to where I can barely even move. My Wi-Fi is off, so I have to come over to Starbucks to do my work because I work remote. And I wanted to go to the doctor. I was thinking about it, but the doctor's a $50 copay. And a $50 copay for somebody who's in the negatives, I don't know what to do. I've maxed out my credit cards from my old rent because when you lose a job, what do? You have to put it on credit. You have to take out a loan. You have to do something. So all that's maxed out when I lost my last job. Go to Starbucks. I have to get a drink in order to use their Wi-Fi. So I'm going to get a drink and the drink is $10. I have to ask my sister for money. Like, this is not funny, you guys. This is genuinely real life. And it's tough. I feel like this has to end, right? Our economy in the US has to crash. It's not normal.
And the division isn't just between parties. It's inside families, communities, workplaces, and even churches. People no longer debate ideas. They fight identities. This constant conflict creates an atmosphere of exhaustion and fear. People feel like the country is unraveling not because of external enemies, but internal tension. When a nation can't agree on basic truth, when half the country sees the other half as the enemy, national pride can't survive that.
Raise your hand. Tell me in the comments if you feel like you are living in the American dream, because that's exactly what Trump just said.
But under the Trump administration, all of that is changing. Prices are coming down very fast, and we're bringing them back to the beautiful part where you can have and you can truly say we're talking about the American dream again. You didn't used to hear that term. You heard it during my 4 years and then it disappeared. Now you're hearing it again more than ever because we had the most successful economy in the history of our country during my first 4 years. We rebuilt the economy.
Ever since you stepped into the political spotlight, I've carried this unsettling feeling of unease. It's hard to describe, but it's not. It's like the air changed. It got heavier and colder. Something shifted in this country. The American dream has been reserved for people in a certain bracket. People who once kept their hate hidden now wear it proudly. Racism, cruelty, and ignorance used to be whispered from corners, but are now being shouted on center stage. You didn't just divide politics when you came in. You divided people. You made proud Americans feel scared in their own countries, for their neighbors, for their families, and for their future. You have taken the American dream from Americans, and you have wounded this country. But we will continue to heal this country for our children and our children's children, and so on.
Domestic instability, economic uncertainty, all contribute to the feeling that the U.S. is losing its global standing. People aren't sure what America represents anymore. And without clarity, national confidence weakens. What Americans still want. Despite all this, one thing is clear. Americans haven't lost hope. They've lost stability. People want safety, fair wages, honest leadership, affordable living, community, direction, a future their children can depend on.
November 16th, 2025, Moody's has declared almost half of the states in our country are in a recession, officially by definition. And of those half of them are red states who voted for Donald Trump. Many of the blue states are the ones that surround Washington, D.C., and had a lot of federal workers that were let go. And Moody's says that the recession is due to the tariffs, stricter immigration policies that, number one, are creating labor shortages, but also number two, it's a loss of tax base because whether Trump supporters want to believe it or not, even undocumented workers pay taxes. Just can't get through their heads. So that loss of tax base is helping to drive the recession. The federal jobs cuts, which are causing high unemployment rates in these 23 states, no new job growth, or very slow hiring. Okay. They get into a lot more, but it's all because of this administration's economic policies. So here we are. But at least we got that ballroom, and at least Donald Trump is throwing these extravagant parties on your dime and my dime.
People feel like the America they grew up in just isn't the same America they're living in today. Inflation may cool on paper, but it hasn't cooled in people's lives. Groceries are up, rent is up, bills are up, and hope, that's what feels down. The economy is squeezing people to the edge. One of the biggest reasons Americans feel the country is losing its pride is economic pressure. Wages don't stretch like they used to.
You've got to hear the way Trump responds when he's asked about why so many people are complaining about the economy. He's unable to listen or even acknowledge the pain that millions of Americans are feeling right now, showing that he does not care about us at all.
And why are people saying they're anxious about the economy? Why are they saying that?
I don't know that they are saying. I think polls are fake. We have the greatest economy we've ever had. We will have over $20 trillion come into our economy, and it's largely because of my election, but it's also largely because of tariffs.
Meanwhile, families across the entire country are struggling and grocery prices are through the roof. Consumer confidence is the lowest level it's been since 1951. People are working harder and falling farther behind. But instead of listening or doing anything to fix this stuff, Donald Trump goes on TV and says we have the greatest economy we've ever had, and that anyone who disagrees is automatically lying. That's not leadership, that is pure delusion. Additionally, more than half of all Americans say that Donald Trump's policies are hurting them directly. But of course, the billionaire doesn't care. He's just going to ignore all of us and pretend that everything is perfect. This is the same guy who promised all of us inflation would disappear and wages would magically rise. But instead, we've seen prices skyrocket while paychecks stay the exact same. Even Fox News, his favorite channel, is reporting rising beef prices and household costs. But don't worry, guys, none of that stuff matters because $20 trillion is magically going to come into the economy because of Trump's tariffs. We just have to ignore all of those silly economists who say consumer prices are going to rise even more because of these policies.
These aren't political wishes, they're human ones. When these needs aren't met, people don't feel proud. They feel frustrated, tired, and worried. Final thoughts. So, is America losing her pride? Maybe. Or maybe Americans are losing faith in the people and systems that shape the nation. But here's what I believe. Pride comes from unity, truth, justice, and opportunity. If the country can reclaim those values truly and honestly, the pride will return. But until then, people are going to keep asking the same question. What is happening to America, and where do we go from here?
Okay. Well, we know it's not coming back in the final days. Let's be real. Nothing is coming back. So no pride is coming back. No Rebounds are going to happen. There's not going to be no reset, because I heard that a lot. Oh, we're going to reset. What is a reset if the same people are going to be in charge? What kind of damn reset is that? That's not a reset. So, no, what that is a redo. You want to redo everything over again. And you know what? Nobody's down for your redos, okay? We really wasn't down for you in the first place, but a redo, no thank you, especially from y'all. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a lot of people feeling depressed in this nation now. Yeah, that pride is definitely gone. All right, Eagle Talons, thank you for the 4-month membership. All praises to the Most High. Amen. G. Bowman Jr., thank you for the super chat. Behold ye among the heathens in regard and wonder marvelously for, I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. Okay. Um, will work a work in your days, which ye will not believe, though it be told. Habakkuk 1 verse 5. Sefer. But thank you for your support from my channel. I deeply appreciate it. Okay. So, look, y'all, they want this place back. See, they want it back the way that it was, and it's not going back. And you can see as each day changes up in this place, they can't handle it. I I just don't know what to tell them. They cannot handle how dramatically this place has changed. And see, Donald Trump is still lying to the public, talking about his tariffs are going to bring in trillions of dollars, which it has not. His tariffs have literally ruined the economy. It was bad under Joe Biden, but it's far worse under Donald Trump. And I guess his pride is not going to let him admit it, but his tariffs did not make anything better. It actually made things worse, because every time this man went on TV and said the word tariffs, everything automatically went up in price. Now it's absolutely ridiculous. The prices of the food. I mean, even just going in the supermarket makes me cringe now. The price of the food is just outrageous. And if you're going to sit and just dismiss everything people try to say about the economy, then how could he possibly make things better? And that's all he does. Every time someone tries to question him on the condition of this economy, he always deflects. And so that right there is a clear indicator he cannot and will not do anything about what's going on. You know? And I haven't heard another word about that $2,000. It was spoken about last week, this week, nothing. Not another word. Everybody's all caught up with the Epstein files. But I ain't holding my breath for anything Donald Trump does. Yeah, isn't that something you can easily, Tyrus 373930? Yes, you can easily spend that in the supermarket. Spending $200 and $300, I don't even think your basket is even half full with that anymore. I don't even think it's half full. Mhm. They're saying so half of the country is already in a recession. I bet is half of the country is in a depression. I certainly would not be surprised if it's a depression that we're in. Mhm. And then they're talking about a 50-year mortgage. Who can afford the houses out here? You know, Y a 50-year mortgage, so you would be in debt the majority of your life. You would be indebted to your home the majority of your life with a 50-year mortgage. Even if you're in your 20s and you bought a house with you'd be in your 70s by the time you pay it off. That's outrageous. That's absolutely outrageous. Mhm. Oh, yeah, it's crazy, and it seems like every time I go in there, items are being marked up, and what you pay now is no guarantee that by the time we get in 2026, you're gonna be paying those same prices. You're gonna probably be paying something a lot higher. Mhm. It's crazy, and they already said everybody's energy bill is gonna be going up in the country, you know? Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a live on the 50-year mortgage a little later. Unfortunately, yeah, that's something Donald Trump is kicking around, and really, technically, y'all, the only one that would benefit from that are rich people, okay? Rich people are the only ones that would benefit from this 50-year mortgage. Nobody else is gonna benefit from that other than a bunch of rich folks, and that is the truth. And, you can't expect Donald Trump to care because he don't, you know? That's your big disadvantage of having some rich guy in charge because he's not gonna care. He's not gonna care about anybody. He's not hurting, so he can't relate to the people that are. Mhm. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm not hopeful. I don't believe Donald Trump can do anything other than keep telling everybody that prices are going down and his economy is way better than it was before, and it's all lies. Mhm. Yeah, it's just like when you go in the store, people are not lying when they tell you, like, bags of Doritos are $7. I was like, that I remember that same bag would be $1.69, now I was like, "Man, that thing can sit right there on the shelf, I don't even care." Mhm, and plus, yeah, they got tons of money, they keep stealing the money, and I really believe that's why Donald Trump never paid out on the SNAP during the during the shutdown because they used that money or they completely took that money that was there and it was supposed to be for SNAP. They took that money. He didn't have it to pay out. That contingency fund, they took that money. Mhm. You ain't lying, Rosalind. It sure is. It's air. They put all that air inside the bag to make it look like it's full, and it's actually not even close to being full. Not even close. Mhm. And then on top of not paying, he ran to the Supreme Court just to delay it even more. I'm like, "Nah, that money's gone." Mhm. I don't know who on earth. I mean, talk about a waste of money. The White House never needed no damn ballroom. What do you need a ballroom? Your ass should be worried about working for the country. What the hell do you need a ballroom for? Mm. Talking about if they have events, they don't wanna go elsewhere. Why not? You got the money to go elsewhere, so what? But tearing up the White House to put a ballroom on, and they said that ballroom is gonna be as big as the White House itself. So it's gonna be a facility just as big as the White House right next to it. You don't need nothing like that. That's not a ballroom is not a necessity. Mhm. Well, no, I mean, I do believe that the first young woman that was speaking on this video, they took that money. And that's why Elon was there talking about he is cutting, trying to catch all this wasteful spending and all this stuff. And I still say he didn't do nothing. If you didn't arrest anybody for fraud and wasting all the money, nobody got fired, nobody got arrested, then I don't believe that happened. I don't believe what they're saying. And I still don't believe it. I don't believe Elon went up there and caught anything. But that's why they broke into the treasury, fired people, and then start hacking into the machines because they were moving money. They were moving money around. That's why they did that. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I thank you for being here. I deeply appreciate it. So, my next live is at 1:45. I will see you then. Shalom, family.